Hi, Toadstool Tarot here again, and I'm calling this Reflections on Recent Purchases. If you're anything like me, when you unbox a new deck you've just gotten in the mail, you're so excited to share it that you haven't really taken the time to look it over or live with it. And your initial impressions aren't always the best. I've discovered that among some of my recent purchases over the last week or two, and have some additional thoughts on them. And it's still early days yet, so those might change too. But, this whole process is an ever-evolving learning process. I wanted to start off with the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot that I got, and I sort of gave less than a glowing review of, and I'm liking it more and more. Although today, out in brighter light, I walked back again a little bit from my glowing enthusiasm for it. But initially I thought, oh, the book isn't particularly helpful. And then I looked through this passage in here and I thought, oh yeah, this jives with my feelings about reading cards. So I just wanted to read you this quick bit. How to read tarot, storytelling. The heart of any tarot reading is storytelling. The reader casts the cards and uses their imagination and intuitions to make a story out of what they see spread out before them. The reader puts themselves in the heart and hands of the cards. Any question can be asked. Guidance may be sought. The reader may take inspiration from a simple symbol or color on the card, or the reader may use the entire illustration. Energy and movement can be read by observing the posture and direction of horses and/or characters. The cards may provoke unexpected results and ideas. The beauty of tarot reading is that it will articulate the situation, get the reader out of their own head, and always provide a focus point towards the reader's desired result or outcome. This is, some people use these as fortune telling or divination, and I wonder what kinds of questions you ask. More often than not, I don't have a question, or I might have a situation I'm concerned about, so I ask it basically, what have you got to tell me? Or how do you advise me? Or is there something I should keep an eye out for? Those are the questions I most commonly ask the tarot, and it's kind of like consulting a therapist. I get some feedback and perspectives that I might not ordinarily think about. And I find too, as I'm sure a lot of you do, that even though you've looked at a card dozens of times, your eye might focus in on one little detail or aspect when you ask a question that it hadn't before. Something pops out at you that's like in the distance, in the background, some little symbol or some little action or some icon that somehow all of a sudden takes on more important meaning for you than what's right at the front of the card in your face. And I always find that really interesting. I don't quite know what that's all about, that our subconscious does that. It kind of like somehow knows to zoom in just where it needs to go to suss out what we need to glean from a card. Modern tarotists use the cards to invoke and gain insight, hindsight, insight, and foresight. They recognize the future is very much in their hands and know personal actions bear a direct result in their life. Knowing this, they use the cards as inspiration and guidance when examining past events. They use the cards for insight into what is currently happening in their life, and rather than predict the future, they use the cards for foresight, testing out multiple scenarios and/or trying to find the best solution for current problems. This is empowered tarot reading. Empowered tarot reading never seeks to peek into another person's life or spy on others using the cards. Empowered readings always place responsibility in the hands of the individual and not in the hands of fate. This is right on for me. I mean, I don't know about all of you. You may not all agree. But I use tarot as a sort of self-help, self-improvement guidance system. I don't use it to predict, like some people. Oh, am I going to meet my soulmate in 2 months? Am I going to have a baby? Will it be a boy or a girl? 3 months down the line, don't go there. I don't go there. I mean, you can go there, but I don't go there. That's not what it's about for me. But anyway, so I just kind of like didn't give this book much value until I found that little passage in there. And I still haven't read through the whole thing. I think probably a lot of it, and I'm assuming here, a lot of it just repeats things that we read in other Little White books. Oh, I should give credit where credit is due. This, the text in this particular edition is by Sasha Graham, whoever that is. They credit Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith with the deck, and colors by Barbara Nascenzo, but the text in the book are by Sasha Graham. So Sasha, I don't know if that's a man or a woman, but this is their views, not necessarily those of Waite or Smith or Lo Scarabeo, but I share their views on this. Another thing, these cards are really glossy, and I like that, and a lot of people don't like that. They're very slippy. I also have a oracle, The Whispers of Lord Ganesha, which is also very glossy, and the cards are heavier, and they're sticky. They don't slip and slide like these. These shuffle very easily, so I like that. However, here's another thing to give you pause. I love the coloring in this deck, maybe because I tend to be a sort of a moody person, and a lot of the skies in these seem like kind of murky, moody, like twilight time. I mean, if I was going to name this, I probably wouldn't have called it the Radiant Wise Spirit. I probably would have called it the Twilight Tarot. Because if you look at the images, a lot of them are not the brightest part of day. They're kind of a dusky color. And, even, a rainy card like that is, dark. The blue skies are not bright blue. They're kind of changeable weather, But I wanted to see what you thought about this. The colors vary so much from the Centennial, which is supposed to be, Pixie's more intended coloration. And, I mean, in this one you really get, that storm, more so even than the gray in here, I think. Sorry. One's way bigger than the other because this is the one from the tin, so it's smaller. I'm trying to give you a sense side by side of the comparison. Now here, they've taken the gray skies and made them blue, which I don't mind, but look what they've done. They've changed the white glove or white hand to a flesh tone hand. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think maybe there was some symbolism implied by the purity of that hand that is now lost, although they do have a kind of a radiant halo around that hand, but just not sure about that, and wonder what you think. They've done it with the others as well. No white hands, no white gloves. But I am loving this more, you know. Like I said, I didn't give it like the most glowing review initially. And now that I've had it a few days, every day I seem to like it more and more. And I also find I have really crappy lighting in my apartment. I mean, this light is sort of harsh. It's just a little lamp I use for these videos, but I don't usually have it on in here. I'll show you. See, it's pretty dim in here. It's like a 60-watt bulb or something. So it's not like the brightest light to read in. And I find that these really work well in dim light because of the kind of 3D quality of them. They really kind of pop and get to the point. They lack some of the subtlety of the other, you know, deck with line work and stuff. But it really kind of zones in on the subject matter of the cards. Now I want to change our direction a little bit to the John Waterhouse Oracle that I got a week or two ago and reviewed, which I love, of course. I've mentioned it a couple times already. But I wanted to get your opinion on something. This is a deck that has no labeling, no guidebook, nothing. It's like totally your intuition. And I'm wondering how you feel about decks. Do you ever remove cards from your decks that don't work for you? I love the cards in this deck, except this one. And you know, like in playing cards, how the Joker is rarely used in a game? This feels like it's meant to be the Joker or the Fool. However, this isn't a tarot deck, it's an oracle deck. And as a Fool, it still has meaning, but the style of the image and the messaging is so totally different than every other card in the deck that I'm tempted to pull this card out and leave it aside. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, this is going on intuition, so I should have the right to do that, right? Or should I really leave it intact because whoever put this oracle together put that card in there? Wonder what you think about that. There's another instance in this deck. There's two pairs of cards that are so similar that I don't know. I mean, is this the same message? These are women pouring water into a large pot, and the basic difference is one is 3 women and one is 5 women, but I don't know if that's enough of a difference. Are they both necessary in the desk? Excuse me. Both necessary in the deck? Maybe this really comes down to fine-tuning on intuition and reading. Testing your skills. Like the differences are that subtle that you need to be able to distinguish some minor difference in there and make of that what you will. Here's another one. You all know about Pandora's box. Now, these both look like depictions of Pandora's box. And I don't know that they're both necessary to be in the deck. This one looks more to me like, wow, she's really unleashing potential horror and devastation. This one, she's just kind of slowly, gently peeking in there. And maybe this one's not Pandora's box. Maybe this is just about curiosity over some little prize or treasure. I don't know, but I'm wondering whether both of these cards are needed in the deck and whether the meaning or the interpretation is drastically different. curious what you think about that. As always, please put your comments below in the, below the video. Now here's another one. This is my Influence of the Angels tarot, which I really, every day I love more and more. I don't love the cover on the box, and I'm not really an angels person. So it's like people might say, well, why did you buy a tarot about angels if you don't like angels? I don't have anything against angels, but it has this kind of religious connotation that the religion part is not so much for me. But I have come to rearrange my view of this deck and perspective. I think this would have made a prettier cover, actually. Not big on red. That's more gently persuasive color. I sort of view these angels as a metaphor for tarot, which is, like I said, a kind of a guidance. They're like guides or protectors or advisors, So it's like their unseen guidance, like in the way that tarot is kind of an unseen guide to us with our subconscious. Angels are like that. So in the cards, you could see the angels, and you can take them for angels, or you can look at the angel in the image and think, that's a subconscious influence. I mean, it is called the Influence of the Angels tarot, not the Angels tarot. So I think that's interesting. Also, these cards are so beautiful. Again, they're glossy, and people don't like glossy, and I like their slippery feel. And the backs are so beautiful. The edges are subtly darkened around the edge, and they're like this beautiful night sky blue, very dark, really beautiful, soothing blue. You could just like fall right into it. It's so comforting, this night sky. And the gilding, I've never seen gilding like this on cards. I mean, this is so over the top, and this is a joy to shuffle. I mean, it's like deli thin slices of a gold ingot. I mean, it is just fantastic to handle and like dazzle your eyes while you're seeing one side of this royal midnight blue and the edge glimmering and gleaming like starlight. It's just like I'm waxing so poetic here, but it's a visual delight just to handle and shuffle these cards. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little. And also I am really loving the 2 guide cards that they included in the deck, which I don't know if you can see or take a screenshot for your own use, but they spell out the suit meanings and the number meanings in such a helpful way that a lot of tarot decks, the little white books, you might as well throw right out the window. I would say, I'm tempted almost to pull these out of the box and just leave them at my desk side for any tarot deck that I use as a guide, because they're so helpful. I wish, instead of the little white books, I wish all decks came with little cards like these. And it wouldn't be bad to include cards with the major arcana, because these only cover the minor arcana. So yeah, they could do 1 or 2 more cards to cover the majors. But I love that. And also, this guidebook is really amazing and insightful. A lot of times the images, yeah, I can get what's going on in the images, and I can interpret it on my own, but they kind of take a little, what's the word that a doctor uses? a little knife to the sorry, my screen blacked out there for a minute, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to edit these together or not. I just wanted to finish up my remarks. Looking at the guidebook, they kind of dissect the images and to take visual elements and sort of single them out and look at them symbolically, and I like that a lot, and it really helps. And usually what I'll do is I'll look at an image first and see what I get out of it, and then if I have any confusion or I want to see, oh, am I on the mark or not, then I'll go to the book, the little white book or whatever guidebook, and see what they have to say and see where I agree or disagree with what they have to say. But yeah, I don't know if I want to say any more about that. That's enough of me bumbling around today. Let me see if I can edit these bits together and put them out there to you. I'm curious to get your reactions and your comments, and maybe challenge you to revisit your recent purchases and reconsider them. So until next time, take care and bye-bye.